because I have Zoom and I have radio. So.
Okay.
Steeplechase.
Yeah, Wednesday's a steeplechase day.
Steeplechase day.
I wish they ran 9 steeplechase races a day, just so I wouldn't have to bet, because I can't hit I can't hit a ticket here.
You're in a slump?
Big time.
All right, well, we're going to get out of it today then.
All right, okay.
So we have 3 races that we're going to talk about on the show. One is going to be available to our free audience, and that's going to be the Fourstardave Handicap. That's a Breeders' Cup race. That's a mile. That's for the Breeders' Cup mile.
That's really nice of you to give him a 5-horse field for free. That was very nice. With a 2 to 5 shot.
Well, you don't want to. I'm not giving the 5-horse field to the people who pay.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. So if you want the better races, including the Arlington Million, we have 2 races. We have a Arlington Million, which is a nice field, and then we have a 12-horse field that we're also going to be handicapping at Saratoga. That's available on our Patreon page at Prime SN. That's for $5 a month. So, but the Breeders' Cup race is the one that we're going to talk about first. It's a 5-horse field, a mile race. Casa Creed is, looks like Casa Creed is one of the top contenders at 5-2, John. Ran some 7s in 2020. But the best since then, an 8 last time out, which is really not bad considering traveling back from Dubai.
Well, the reason I don't like this horse is because he's a closing sprinter and he's being asked to stretch out to 2 turns. I think he's a lot better around 1 turn than 2 turns. He has won at the distance in the past. But that being said, I just think he's a better sprinter than router.
How do you go there, Chad?
I agree with John. Look, I mean, he's run well at Saratoga. He's run 3 starts at Saratoga. He's got a win in 2/3. He's never been off the board. And he won at a mile back in 2019 when he won the Hall of Fame Stakes. But that day he beat Sambaya, Global Access. This is a completely different, group of horses, even though it's a select group of horses. They're just better. And Casa Creed's strength is his kick. And it's not as strong going a route or ground, even though he's done it before. It's just not as strong. And I just think, unfortunately, Saratoga puts him in no man's land because the turf sprints are, $100,000 running against Golden Pal. So you want to run in a grade 1. You're in the middle of the year. There's nowhere else to go. Take a shot. But there's not a lot of speed in this race for him to even close into, which also I think is a problem.
All right, the 2 is a 10-1 shot. Front run the Fed. Irad Ortiz on board at 10-1. But you got 2 12s and an 11 in his last 4 races. That's not going to get it done.
You need a 5, so he has no chance, unless Chad likes him.
No, I agree with you, Jonathan. And I mean, in this situation, I mean, yeah, he won a Colonial the other day. Irad was down there to ride him, and I know this was kind of the preparation for this race, but he's just not good enough. He's a grade 3, overnight stake horse, and this is a legitimate grade 1 with the 2 Chad Brown horses, and I just don't see him, making up the difference.
Regal Glory is going to go off as a heavy favorite. Is already the heavy favorite at 65 on the morning line. Back-to-back 5s, John, coming in here. 4 straight wins. What do you think the line will be on Saturday?
She'll be 3 to 5. It's a female against males, and she's going to win. So, plain and simple. The only horse that has any chance to beat her is the other Chad Brown horse, who will be a strong second choice.
What about Regal Glory, Chad, not only in this race, but for the Breeders' Cup?
I mean, you want to find out what she is, right? I mean, her best distance is a mile. She's run it 12 times with 7 wins in 3 seconds, albeit all those were against fillies. There's not a filly Breeders' Cup mile on the grass. There's the Filly Mare Turf, which is a mile and 3/8, I believe, which is probably a little too far for her. The Filly Mare Turf Sprint, there's not even a turf sprints for boys and girls. So you're trying to find what she does best. She is a legitimate grade 1 horse. She's won back-to-back grade 1s. She's won 3 grade 1s in her career. this is a right spot. And look, Chad Brown wants to win this race. He's won just about every turf race in America, and he's never won this race before in his life. He's taken 2 big swings at it, and he's been planning this since the Justa game. I like that they've been pointing for this very race since June 11th. Everything's gone according to plan. And even though Jose Ortiz fired his agent because he said he doesn't ride for Chad Brown anymore, he's on this horse who has ridden the last 10 starts. Right. So, look, I think she's the horse to beat. I'm going to try and beat her. But certainly you can't say anything negative against her. She's a really, really nice filly.
Who will be her competition, do you believe, in the mile Breeders' Cup?
Well, I don't think she wins this race, right? So I think
that's true. If you don't think she'll win this race, yeah.
I think Mason is a better horse than her, and I think we'll find out. I hate picking Chad Brown. Every time we do the show, I feel like I pick Chad Brown. But
well, why do you like Mason then over the favorite? Even though, I mean, look, this is a 2-to-1 horse.
The favorite is also Chad Brown.
Yeah.
Look, Mason is visually, I'm a very visual guy. Visually watching him work at Belmont, there was no way he can lose the poker. In fact, Chad Brown refused to allow Flavian Pratt to leave and get off Mason and go ride Hot Rod Charlie, who he's ridden almost his entire life, including going around the world to ride him in Dubai. He would not let him off the mount of Mason when he ran at Monmouth Park last time. Chad Brown loves this horse. He's a very, very special horse. The way he moves in the morning time, when you watch him breeze on the grass, and look, we're spoiled here. They have grass workouts twice a week. And if you know some of the horses, and Mason is one of the ones that I know well and I follow, and I watch him breeze in the morning time. It's just a pleasure to watch him breeze. And you know, he works with other grade 1 horses of Chad Brown, and he makes them all look like Group 3 horses, allowance horses. He beats them all in the morning time. He'll beat them all in the afternoon. I think we saw on the Seek again when he made that huge move and he won by 5 easy. And look, I understand he's beating Wolfie's Dyna Ghost and Public Sector and nobody of the ilk of the filly Regal Glory. But he has done things so effortlessly and so easy. And, I mean, literally only 2 horses want to run against him in the Seek again. He won a 3-horse field when he won the Seek again because nobody wants to run against him. This horse, I think, not only wins this race, but as we look ahead to the Breeders' Cup, will become the favorite for the Breeders' Cup Mile on the heels of this performance on Saturday. He's that special. And when you talk about who are the other horses to beat long-term in the Breeders' Cup Mile, I don't think we're looking here in America. I mean, we'll talk about the Arlington Million, which is also a mile at Churchill. But at the end of the day, his biggest competition will come from overseas and internationally. And it'll be interesting to see who decides to come. If a horse like Bayed, who is right now regarded as the best horse in the world, elects to come and elects to run the race, it would be an unbelievable race.
Who trains that horse, Chad?
That horse is overseas. He's a very, very special horse. Why can't I get this thing back?
So it's not being trained by one of those top European trainers that we see here in the States?
Does Charles Appleby train him? Because I'll take it, Charles Appleby.
No, not Charles.
Whoever he sends over.
I think it's Charlie Hills.
Oh, all right.
Okay, so John, Mason, what about Mason?
He's not beating the 3. He could try, but I don't think he could beat the 3. He could run second. He's also giving weight up to the 3, which is ridiculous. But listen, I respect Chad's opinion. I respect his eye. He knows what he looks at in the morning. But I'm looking at numbers, and off the numbers, I think the 3 is the one.
Bayed's trained by William Haggis. I'm sorry, William Haggis.
Yeah, the sheets, if you look at the last 4 races, Regal Glory is 8-7-5-5. Mason is 10-8-7-7. So sheets say that Regal Glory's better the last 2 races by 2, 7-5.
Listen, I have a question. I have a question for Jonathan on the sheets. Okay, because we've seen this with some other outlets and stuff like that. Is the group that the horse runs with, i.e. a Group 1 or a Group 3 or a maiden race, is that given credence to the strength of the number?
No, buyers do that and other people do that, but not Ragozin. We could be he'll take a number with a 10 claimer, same thing, as opposed to running an allowance or stakes or anything else. The company means 0.
And you feel like that's something that makes the sheets more of a reliable and accurate kind of data you're doing your handicapping?
Yes.
And again,
I believe in the bottom. I don't believe in class. There are plenty of people that believe in class. The sheets don't believe in class. There's no such thing as class. Ragozin always said, a number is a number is a number is a number, whether it be a race in Charlestown or a race at Belmont. So.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's a fact, but that's the way we were taught, and that's the way that's the belief we have.
And isn't that also supposed to be because that's statistically?
Yes.
We're not talking about one race, because obviously, you can have Mason beat Regal Glory on Saturday.
Listen, of course,
Mason, of course.
Anyone can beat anybody. I mean, what does that mean?
But statistically, when you're talking thousands of races,
right.
By the way, if you want to hear a crazy stat that I read today in the Daily Racing Form. So Chad Brown has the two favorites in this race. One of them's Jose Ortiz, and one of them's Flavian Pratt. Obviously, he uses IRAD a lot, Joel Rosario. Do you know who's won more races this year for Chad Brown than any other jockey?
Joel Rosario. No.
Manny Franco.
Really?
Manny Franco has 41 wins.
He gets all the leftovers that aren't such leftovers, I guess, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, I thought that was...
Get Smokin' is 8-1. Get Smokin' has no single-digit sheet lines since February of last year.
Yeah, well, he has no chance off the numbers. I mean, listen, I don't like him. He would have to run a new top. He's 5 years old. Good luck to him. He's actually giving weight up to the 3 because the 3's a female running against boys. That's crazy.
Chad? No chance?
He's a cool horse, okay? He tries. He wasn't himself when he ran in Dubai a few starts back. I thought he came back and he was almost a winner against a good field in the admissions office and field pass in the Arlington. The Forbidden Apple, kind of a weirdly run race. He settled for 4th that day, but ran and tried hard. He's a cool horse that's a pace presence in a small field. And jockey Javier Castellano has somehow found the fountain of youth. And he's going to take him, I think, he's going to take him as far as he can. So, he would be a play for me underneath the Chad Brown horses, but in a 5-horse field. And this has been the problem. We talked about this time in and time out. You can't play a trifecta in a 5-horse field if you like 3 favorites. Where are you going? So, do I think he can run 3rd in this race? Absolutely.
Yeah, but 3rd. He could definitely get 3rd.
What do you do with that?
He'll get 3rd, so you can't do anything with it.
All right. So, Chad, you're going with Mason, and John, you're going with Regal Glory.
Correct. I like Mason for 2nd.
I like Regal Glory for 2nd.
What was that, Chad?
I like
Regal Glory for 2nd.
Hey, before we, I'll hold this off for our patrons. All right, so that's it for our free bonus race, and hopefully next week we'll have a better race, it's a big race, but we'll have a bigger field.
And once again though, before we go off the air here, I think it's important to say that on the Patreon page itself last week, once again, when Jonathan and I agreed, you got paid.
I like it.
There you go. Got advertising now. Wow.
Want to, of course, remind everybody, just $5 a month. That's all it is. So patreon.com/PrimeSN. Check it out. We'll be back next week for any of our viewers out there who aren't patrons, unfortunately. And just taking a look next week on the 20th, we have the Alabama Stakes at Saratoga.
Chad, is that 5 horses too?
Looking like 4 right now. Looking for a 5th.
You can't get champagne poetry ready in a week.
And Del Mar Oaks is a grade 1 at Del Mar. So 2 grade 1s next week. Also a grade 2 at Saratoga. So I'm sure we'll be doing some Saratoga racing next week. For our patrons, just give us a second to say goodbye to our free audience. We'll see you next week.